This is a Beargrass Black History Moment, our World War I connection. Two posters entitled "Color Man is No Slacker" and "True Sons of Freedom" were circulated by the U.S. government during World War I to entice African American men for Army registration. Fighting for the cause of this country was not a new concept to African American men who had done so before there was a United States of America. At the time, Americans, black and white, were not eager to get involved in another war since the country was at peace. President Woodrow Wilson, while addressing Congress about the need for U.S. involvement in the European War, spoke of making the world safe for democracy. The irony was that Mississippi in America and many other states was not safe for Negroes, and the U.S. government was not making great strides to bring about democratic changes. Segregation was the law of the land. German soldiers took advantage of Americans' hypocrisy and dropped leaflets from airplanes behind lines of African American soldiers, which read, "To the colored soldiers, hello boys, what are you doing over here fighting the Germans? Have they ever done you any harm?" Questions such as, "Do you have the same rights as white people in America, the land of freedom and democracy?" They posed questions about eating in the same restaurants, riding on trains, and pointed to other American daily racial discrepancies. The Library of Congress has such leaflets. Irvin O'Bannon from our church history, a professed baptized believer in Jesus Christ, was at age 24 drafted into the Army and served in COH 801 Pioneer Infantry, organized at Camp Zachary Taylor in Louisville. He was a musician, and when deployed to France, he took his portable folding pump organ with him, like the image shown. Joyous spirituals and hymns were sung at off-duty times. Irvin worked in the supply and service sector of the military, making sure that needed supplies were available at military sites during the war. His role, like others held by many African American men serving in non-combatant jobs, was highly important, yet played down or left out of American history. After the war, Irvin returned to Beargrass and was a church treasurer before he became an ordained minister at the church. He would marry and later become the pastor at First Baptist Church, Hardinsburg, for a number of years. Further research will reveal other men of our church who served in World War I among the 350,000 African American men. Reportedly, 42,000 saw action and many lives were lost. When the men arrived home, there was no national gratitude for the sacrifices and services given. Only in New York City was the Army's all-black 369th Division, known as the Harlem Hellfighters, afforded a massive homegoing parade for their valor while fighting in France. Many of the soldiers received individual medals from France, and from France, the entire 369th Regiment received the Croix de Guerre. Other soldiers returning home, particularly in the South, including Kentucky, found no such warm reception. The racial climate had worsened, with lynchings and other forms of racial aggression had increased. The battle for equality and justice continued on the home front just as it does today. And yet, all things possible through Christ Jesus. This has been a Beargrass Black History Moment.